Salam, I'm Ben Hifney. I'm the author of Adaptation of Belief, Reconciling Islamic Tradition with Evolutionary Science, available on Amazon and wherever books are sold. My book deals with the apparent conflict between Islam and science concerning human origin, whether we're the children of Adam or we're the product of evolution. If you're curious about how Islamic tradition can harmoniously align with contemporary evolutionary science, or if you're grappling with questions about the origin of humanity, then this book is for you. And now, I'm thrilled to bring you a video series inspired by my book. This series is an exploration to further enlighten and engage with you, the readers and viewers, about this fascinating and crucial subject matter. Join me in this enlightening journey of faith, science, and understanding.
So, when it comes to traditional Islamic teachings and what science says about how humans came to be, the whole debate really centers on Prophet Adam, alayhi salam. In Islam, it's a big deal to believe that Prophet Adam alayhi salam and Hawa were the first humans and that everyone else came from them.
It's a core part of the faith. Now, on the flip side, you've got the scientific theory of evolution. This idea has been built up over years and years of research, and it suggests that humans, just like every other species, evolved over billions of years. So, the big question is, which story is right?
To figure this out, we need to look into whether there were any humans around before Prophet Adam alayhi salam's time.
And to do that, we have to pin down when he was supposed to be on Earth.
And this is how we do it.
The Quran doesn't really get into the nitty-gritty of dates when it's telling stories.
It usually puts things in order, but doesn't give exact times or dates. But there's this part in the story about Prophet Adam's two sons in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 27. It tells the story about Habil and Qabil, who were commended by Allah to offer sacrifices. Habil, who's a shepherd, offered a healthy ram, and it was accepted by Allah.
Qabil, who's a farmer, offered his produce, but it was not accepted, being not in the best condition.
There's more story between these two, but it's not really relevant to our discussion, so we just leave it at that.
So, the interesting thing about that verse is it shows both of Adam's sons were into agriculture, right? And here's a fun fact. Agriculture only started about 10,000 years ago, and there's a reason for this. Right now, we're living in a climatic time period called the Holocene epoch.
But before this, for 2.6 million years, Earth was in the Pleistocene epoch, which was way cooler, temperature-wise. We're talking about an average annual temperature that's around 10 degrees Fahrenheit colder, or minus 5 degrees Celsius. That's why the Pleistocene is also known as the Ice Age.
Okay. So the main reason why the Pleistocene epoch was a lot colder than our current Holocene epoch is all about how the Earth was orbiting the Sun.
Back in the Pleistocene, Earth's orbit was more like an oval or an ellipse, while now, in the Holocene, which began around 11,000 years ago, it's more like a circle.
When the orbit is oval-shaped, the Earth doesn't get as much heat from the Sun compared to when it's in a circular orbit. And the reason why the shape of Earth's orbit changes from then to now,
it's because of the gravitational pull from other planets in our solar system.
This pull keeps changing as the other planets circle the Sun and mess with Earth's orbit. So during the Pleistocene, because it was colder, the snow that piled up in the winter didn't really melt much in the summer, unlike now in the Holocene.
Because of this, massive glaciers formed, some as thick as 2.5 miles in certain spots.
This caused the sea levels to drop, sometimes by as much as 400 feet. There was so much ice stuck in those glaciers that the climate back then wasn't great for farming. It was colder and drier, and the rain was all over the place, not the steady, reliable kind you need for growing crops. As it was during the Pleistocene, prehistoric humans were always on the move. They were nomadic, living off hunting and gathering.
We haven't found any signs that they were into farming. No old farms, no storage places for crops like granaries, and none of their tools seem made for farming. They just roamed around, following the animals they hunted, searching for water, and moving wherever the weather was better at different times of the year, living in temporary camps and caves.
So if Prophet Adam's sons were involved in farming and herding, then it makes sense to think that they lived in the Holocene period, which only began about 11,000 years ago. But here's where it gets tricky. Archaeologists say that humans, or Homo sapiens, were already around way before 11,000 years ago. In fact, up to 300,000 years ago. So, the big question now is figuring out if these prehistoric humans were just like us,
and whether we're actually descended from them. So, to figure out if those prehistoric humans were like us, we first have to think about what makes us different from animals, especially apes. For starters, we're the only ones who walk onto legs all the time. Sure, apes can stand and walk a bit, but they're more about climbing trees and moving on all fours. Then there's our brains. They're unique. Our brains let us handle complicated concepts, think deep thoughts, and make smart choices. This brain power gives us creativity, lets us come up with new innovations, create art, and even think about religion and spirituality. We've got our own culture and way of doing things socially too. We're big on using symbols like facial expressions, writing, art, and religious symbols, and talking. We're the only ones who can chat and share complex ideas, which helps us pass on what we know to the next generation. Tools are another big thing. While some animals use basic tools, we take it to another level, making complex tools and even tools to make other tools, and we keep making them better. Lastly, fire is a game changer for us. We use it for keeping warm, making tools, clearing land, and cooking food. These are just some traits that make us special. Now, let's see if those traits can also be found in prehistoric humans. The oldest known human fossil, found in Morocco, is dated to 315,000 years ago, and numerous prehistoric Homo sapiens fossils have been discovered worldwide, confirming that these early humans shared the same anatomical structure as modern humans, suggesting they could be our ancestors. Remarkably, 40,000-year-old fossils in Australia indicate that these early humans possessed the capability to construct rudimentary watercraft. This achievement not only demonstrates their advanced reasoning and communication skills, but also their ability to undertake significant maritime journeys, settling new lands. Meanwhile, the necessity to hunt large game such as mammoths and antelopes would have required the development of innovative hunting techniques, a testament to their ingenuity. Evidence of abstract thought and symbolism, akin to our own, is found in prehistoric cave paintings and figurines. This is further supported by 25,000-year-old Russian burials, where items such as hunting tools and ivory jewelry were interred for use in the afterlife, reflecting a concept of life beyond death. The use of stone tools, dating back 3 million years and attributed to Homo habilis, evolved significantly over time. By 45,000 years ago, prehistoric humans were crafting bone tools, like needles, enabling them to survive in harsh Arctic conditions by creating fur clothing. The mastery of fire, another hallmark of advanced thinking, allowed these early humans to cook food and maintain warmth, further demonstrating their sophistication. These various accomplishments underline that prehistoric humans were intellectually comparable to us. Their nomadic lifestyle was not a reflection of inferior intellect, but a necessity due to the inhospitable climatic conditions of their time. It's important to note that the delay in the formation of civilizations, despite humanity's existence for approximately 300,000 years, was largely due to these environmental constraints rather than a lack of capability or intellect. The question remains, even though those prehistoric humans may have looked like us and behaved like us, are they really related to us? Are they our ancestors, and are we their descendants? Well, genetic science might have a clue. Some might even say the smoking gun. A study by the Max Planck Institute on ancient DNA finds that present-day Europeans and Asians contain about 1 to 3% Homo neanderthalensis gene, better known as the Neanderthals. However, Africans don't have this gene. Neanderthals were a species of archaic hominins who lived in Europe and the Middle East until about 40,000 years ago, where they became extinct. They are closely related to modern humans, having diverged from a common ancestor around 600,000 years ago, when they left Africa to settle in the Middle East and Europe. The presence of Neanderthal gene in modern human DNA indicates that the Neanderthals and ancient humans mated with each other. This proves that there's a continuous lineage between ancient Homo sapiens and modern Homo sapiens, thus proving the human line did not start with Prophet Adam alayhi salam, but long before he appeared.
The integration of insights from the Quran and its commentaries, along with archaeological and climate science, suggests that Prophet Adam alayhi salam and his family likely lived on Earth less than 11,000 years ago. This time frame, juxtaposed with evidence of earlier human existence, exhibiting similar anatomical and intellectual capabilities to ours, challenges the traditional narrative of Prophet Adam alayhi salam being the first human. This apparent contradiction between traditional and scientific narratives regarding human origins is a complex and intriguing topic that I plan to delve into in future videos. If this discussion interests you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more insights. Additionally, my book, Adaptation of Belief, Reconciling Islamic Tradition with Evolutionary Science, available in both electronic and print formats on Amazon and other book retailers, explores this topic in depth. Thank you and wassalam.